Good morning. You're listening to Insurance Matchmaking, your path to health, life, and Medicare coverage with Matt Libby Insurance. And now, sharing his knowledge, here's your host, Matt Libby.
All right, welcome back to Insurance Matchmaking. I hope you had a great Independence Day holiday. We're still, as you're listening to this on Saturday, it is still part of that holiday weekend. I know that I kind of like it when the 4th falls on a Thursday and just kind of lump in Friday and make a long weekend that way. I don't like when 4th of July say Monday. And so the long holiday weekend ends on Monday, and Tuesday you got to be back to work. I was like, wait a minute, I stayed up, or it used to be especially, when I had to go places to go to see the fireworks, it's like, well, heck, I got to stay up late. And I grew up on the West Coast in the Northwest, and so our fireworks didn't start till about 11 because it wasn't really dark, or maybe it was 10, but it didn't start till like 10:30 because it wasn't really dark enough yet. And so, and then where we parked, where we did the fireworks, it was usually a 10-minute walk to the car. And when it's the crowd, you know what it's like when you're leaving a ball game and then you get in that traffic to leave and everybody's trying to get out and we're all going to use the same road. And so it would take, at least another hour after the fireworks just to get home. Now, as a kid in the summer, it didn't matter. It was summer. But once I joined the working world, it's like I kind of want to have the day off after the fireworks. That's like I always say, people want to take their birthday off. It's like I'd rather have the day after my birthday off. If I want to go out and celebrate my birthday, I want to have the next day to relax. I don't mind working all day and then going and having my birthday. And I usually end up working my birthday. And part of that is it's right in the middle of the healthcare enrollment season. The one thing I do kind of celebrate my birthday is, and I don't care, my birthday's December 8th, folks, and when I talk about the Medicare enrollment period, the AEP, which it ends on December 7th. So December 8th is one of those, oh, yay, it's a holiday, AEP's over. The thing is, we also do the ACA, under 65 health insurance, and that enrollment's not over. And we now have another week. We have a week to get those enrollments done before the 15th of December, so people have their plans in place for the 1st of January. And this year is going to be the same as last year. That actual enrollment period doesn't end until January 15th. But if you don't do your enrollment or enroll before December 15th, or if you need to change your plan, if you don't do it before December 15th, it won't take effect until February 1st. So anything after December 15th up to January 15th is going to go in effect on February 1st. So it's not the end of the world if you miss December 15th, but most people want to try to get it done before then. And sometimes you'll find again, what'll happen after the first of the year, somebody goes to their doctor and the doctor's no longer in the network with the plan they picked, or they picked a plan because they really like the price or the features of it, and then where they thought the doctor was in network and they're not. That does give us a 30-day period there where we can't switch somebody to another plan because it's still the enrollment season. So, and that's one of those things, that's why you work with a local agent that knows what they're doing and can help you and figure out if there is a solution to your situation and you're not just stuck on a plan for the next year. So that, check with us to see if we can help you on that. So anyway, one of the things I wanted to let people know about is the Putnam County Fair is coming up here at the first week there in August. And we have signed up to have a booth this year. I had looked into doing that the first few years I moved into town, and it was like, oh, it's a 10-day commitment, and I was, kind of just me. And now that I have other agents, and Kalia was Mrs. Putnam County Fair for this year, so she's had that connection to the fair. So my staff was like, hey, are we going to do the fair? And it works out a lot of times. It's just a few hours in the evening on a lot of those days, and have the booth. And we can split it up. It doesn't have to be just one person doing the booth. So we're gonna participate with the fair this year. Hopefully, get some information out, help people get to know us, and know that we're here, somebody who can help them with their health insurance or their life insurance. Kind of stress the health insurance because of those enrollment times, and that's most of the time what people are contact us for, their health insurance or their Medicare. So we will be at the Putnam County Fair. So if you don't want to come by the office to see us, hey, at least stop by and say hi at the fair. We'll have some prizes. Going to have some drawings. I haven't really figured out exactly yet what we're going to do. There's probably be some where we'll have some type of ticket to fill out or something like that and draw a name out at the end of the fair. Hey, if you wanted to offer suggestions, again, go to insurancematchmaking.com and say, hey, this is what I think you should give away at the fair. Might be a good idea. I may do it. Or I may say, yeah, you're crazy. That I don't have that much money to spend on a prize. And we'll probably have some little giveaways and things like that. So, stop on by and get to know us if you've only heard us on the radio or seen us online. Also, school will be starting up there in August. Be looking for some school buses that have some signage from Matt Libby Insurance. I'm thinking about doing some type of contest of if you spot a bus, get a picture of it, post it on Facebook or something like that, and comment that, hey, I saw your bus on this street. It's this bus number, and this is the day I saw it there. Something like that, and then we'll put folks like that in for a drawing. So I think maybe get people kind of looking for it. So the other thing is, got some workshops coming up. We did one recently at the office. What happened was something came up and we had a conflict at the library. And what happens is when they have to rearrange their schedule and there's a library event that needs to use the room that we had reserved, we get bumped. And that's what happened. So, but we were able to pivot. If you know Friends, you know the joke on pivot. So whenever I use the word pivot, that's always a chuckle in the office. But we were able to switch that to our office and still conduct that workshop. Worked out great for me. I loved the way it was. It was very convenient. I was still working on something when the first attendee showed up, a little early for the workshop. But I would have had to left, that was at about 20 to 6. Normally I would have to leave the office, usually leave around 5 because I have to be at the venue 30 minutes prior to the event starting. When we have to be there early. I mean, that's a Medicare requirement that when you're doing those type of events, you have to be there at least 30 minutes early. Plus, we need time to set up, and people like to show up early to get a good seat and things like that. So I would have had to leave the office at about 5. Well, at 5:40, I was still sitting at my desk working at something on my computer when that late attendee showed up, and Bree was there too. So I was able to finish what I was doing and then get set up for the workshop. And then we were done about 7 o'clock. I mean, I think we were leaving the office, 7 or just a few minutes after. Whereas normally when we're at the library, we're usually there till about 7:30. So that worked out great. So one of the things, and I did that day, is I scheduled a time for a workshop, and it was a different workshop, but I scheduled one for 2 o'clock on the day of that workshop at the library. So that's kind of something I'm going to go with, that I'm going to be doing some workshops at my office. And so one of the things, July, because it is summer and it does cost money for me to send out the mailers to tell people, to invite them to the workshops, I've decided not to send out mailers in July, and I'm not booking any venues for July. But I still want to have the opportunity to have some workshops that somebody could attend. So what I'm going to do on the 15th of July, that's a Monday, at 2 o'clock and 6 o'clock, I will have that workshop at my office. It's still an educational workshop. It's not a sales presentation. So, come on in and we'll present our Medicare 101, as we call it, and help you kind of make that decision if you're, going to be turning 65 soon. Or even if you're not turning 65. I just recently did a workshop at the Cumberland Business Incubator, and 2 ladies that attended that. They were both already on Medicare, but they still had questions, and I was able to answer some questions for them. And they both have good policies. They may keep exactly what they have, and I may not get any new business out of that. But I was able to help them with some things. So hopefully we can still do that. So my plan is any day that I have a workshop at a venue, I'm going to do one at 2 o'clock that same day at my office. So just kind of, that's going to be that workshop day. So July 15th, 2 o'clock and 6 o'clock at my office. And then I've requested, I don't have it confirmed yet, on Monday, August 12th, I requested the Putnam County Library for that 6 o'clock session. If for some reason, if I've anytime I've scheduled something at another venue, if that falls through, then we will host still at the same time. We just have to notify people that it will be at our office and not the originally published location. So right now I'm trying to get Monday, August 12th at the Putnam County Library at 6 o'clock. If not, then it'll be 6 o'clock at my office, and at 2 o'clock that same day we'll have one. So there could be 2 at my office that day, or 1 at my office and 1 at the library. And then Thursday, August 15th, 2 o'clock at my office, and then 6 o'clock at Cumberland Business Incubator. That's there at the Roane State Campus in Crossville. And then Monday, September 9th, again, that's the Putnam County Library situation, 2 o'clock at our office and 6 at the library, if I'm able to confirm that slot. So those are tentative. Everything else is already set. I mean, the fact I scheduled at my office, it's going to be at my office. I've scheduled it. It's my office. And I've already confirmed the 2 dates at the Cumberland Business Incubator. So those dates will be on the calendar. We may throw in a Livingston somewhere in there. I haven't scheduled that yet. That may come out in another newsletter. So just kind of keep watching for that. And then, so I said Monday, September 9th, more than likely at the, those Mondays seem to be, when I ask for them, we usually don't have too much trouble getting them, at the Putnam County Library. And then Thursday, September 12th, 2 o'clock at our office, and then 6 o'clock at Cumberland Business Incubator. Those are what's coming up. And as I mentioned, we may go to Millard Oakley Library there in Livingston. Just hadn't set dates on that as I'm getting ready. We're getting ready to get the newsletter out as I'm recording this show. So, and those dates can change, but pretty much most of these dates that are on here, I was saying, like, if I've scheduled something at my office for those dates are going to happen. In Cumberland Business Incubator, that date's going to happen. That date is the date that I have confirmed. It's just the Putnam County Library right now is the dates I have kind of up in the air. The other thing I wanted to touch on, and actually I think I may wait until after the break here to come back on that, just to kind of keep going on it. But as I mentioned before, look for us at the fair. We'll be at a booth, and I've never done it at the fairgrounds here, so I'm not sure exactly where we're going to be. Probably something, and hopefully we'll have a good location to do that at the new fairgrounds next year. I'm not sure how that's going to work, but pretty sure what they're saying is this year, this is absolutely going to be the last year for Red, White, and Boom at the fairgrounds there between Walnut and Jefferson, and they'll have to happen at the other fairgrounds coming up, at the new fairgrounds. So we'll see how that goes for next year. I don't have a lot of information on that to say, yep, that's the way it's going to be. But we're coming up on our commercial break here, and then a couple other things I want to touch on to close out today's show. And then hopefully between now and after the holiday, maybe I can get some guests lined up, and you don't have to just listen to me. It's so much more. It's more enjoyable for me when I have people on here, but hopefully you get something out of what I'm putting out.
Hi, this is David Price, your local Twin Lakes Business Solution Consultant. When was the last time you evaluated your company's communication needs? Twin Lakes Advanced Gig Speed Fiber Internet enables advanced capabilities for all types of businesses, helping you create a better customer experience and more efficient team. And the best part, Twin Lakes is based right here in the Upper Cumberland, so you get fast, friendly, and local support. Contact me today at 800-644-8582 or visit us online at twinlakes.net to learn more.
Looking to spruce up your home without breaking the bank? Visit Habitat Restore for incredible deals on furniture, appliances, home decor, and more. Plus, when you shop at Habitat Restore, you're not just getting great deals, you're also supporting your local community. Are you looking to make a meaningful impact? Consider donating to Habitat Restore. Your generosity can make a world of difference. Habitat Restore, open Tuesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., and located at 560 South Jefferson Avenue in Cookeville.
And now, back to Insurance Matchmaking with Matt Libby Insurance.
All right, welcome back from the break here to Insurance Matchmaking. As I mentioned, is one of the things I also wanted to cover. Did this a few months ago. I think maybe it was kind of a little too short a notice getting it out, the event. But on September 6th, that will actually be let me double check if that's a Friday or a Thursday. I don't know why I just went blank on that. Yes, it is a Friday. Friday, September 6th at 11:30. We're going to do another lunch and learn, the how to avoid the nursing home and finding out about the hidden gaps of Medicare and what that is. That's referring to long-term care. As you may or may not know, Medicare does not cover long-term care. A lot of people think, I don't have to worry about long-term care. I'm going to be on Medicare. Medicare does not pay for long-term care. They do not pay for nursing homes. There is what they call skilled nursing. It's usually at a nursing home, but that's limited to like 20 days when maybe you had a joint replacement and you need to stay at the facility for physical therapy, or you've had a serious surgery. You don't need to be in the hospital anymore, but you're not ready to be on your own, or your spouse is not able to take care of you at home, so you need to stay in that skilled nursing facility for a few days until you get a little bit better. Medicare does cover that. The first 20 days, Medicare covers it 100%. After 20 days, you start having copays for that. So Medicare does cover that, but once you've been past over 100 days in the nursing home, they're considering you a resident. Then Medicare doesn't pay anymore. You're a resident at nursing home, and that's on you unless you have some type of long-term care insurance or something, or you're cashing out of your retirement to pay for that. So that's what this workshop that we're going to have is going to be about, is how to avoid some of those costs, how to reassign and capitalize on some allowances that help your money go a little further in retirement to cover those long-term care expenses. And I do have an expert coming, or well, actually not say coming in. She's going to be beaming in. We're going to do this one as a webinar. She did Danielle Rolfs with One America Insurance. She came to our office and did a workshop here a couple months ago now. And we did it as a lunch and learn. So we're still going to do it as a lunch and learn, but she's going to come out to us as a webinar. And so we'll be on the webinar on our TV, and we'll do it as a lunch and learn. So if you come to the office for it, we'll go ahead and present that as provide a light lunch along with that. But if you're not able to make it to the office for that time, maybe you want to do it from home, maybe you can kind of take that lunch break at work, but not have to leave the office. We will have a link that you can remotely attend that webinar. So kind of keep an eye out for that. We'll have that coming out in the newsletter, and probably post maybe a Facebook event, and have it on our website. So check our website, check our Matt Libby Insurance Facebook page to find that event and be able to schedule for that. So we hopefully maybe have a little bit better turnout than we had on the first one. Again, like I said, it was kind of short notice. No cost to you to attend. It's just we're going to go over some things and show some ways that you may be able to take care of some of your long-term care needs in retirement that aren't just traditional long-term care insurance. Long-term care insurance is very expensive, especially if you wait till you're in your 60s to get it. It does go up. Even if you get it when you're in your 40s, depending on the plan you get, you're still probably looking at increased premiums as you get older. So that's one of the things we want to address and see if there's not, maybe can't save you some money and not be paying it out. One of the things, I am not a fan of traditional long-term care insurance. And the reason that is, one, as I mentioned, those premiums like to go up, or some of the companies, they don't raise the premiums, but they cut the benefits. Oh, we're not going to be able to provide everything you were planning for, and so we can cut your payment now, and we'll just cover this much. So that's one of the problems. The other issue with traditional long-term care insurance is a use it or lose it situation. Not everybody needs long-term care. Some people basically kind of stay healthy till the day they die. And something sudden happens, they have a heart attack, and that's it. Or maybe, even some people, or they get cancer, and the cancer, they just, they end up in hospice for a little bit, when the cancer, they're not able to cure that, but they're not using their long-term care benefits. So that's one of the drawbacks of traditional long-term care. So we'll go into some of the ways that you can augment that. And one of those is life insurance. You can have life insurance that has long-term care riders or chronic care riders that if something does happen and you pass suddenly and don't use those care benefits, your beneficiary is going to benefit from that life insurance. So you didn't just throw the money away to the insurance company for the long-term care that you never use. I always try to, it kind of throws me the comparison of my car insurance. I've been fortunate. I haven't had to claim anything on my car insurance, but I still pay it religiously. My homeowner's insurance, I pay that religiously. You never know when you're going to have some issues. Now, homeowner's insurance I've used. We had, back when we lived in Oak Ridge, our basement, we had a flooding situation from water leaks, not from rain flooding. Unfortunately, unless you have flood insurance and rain comes in your house, insurance doesn't cover it. And that's not the kind of insurance I do, but I just kind of let people know that, if you live where creek might flood your basement, you got to make sure you have flood insurance. Your just regular homeowners is not going to cover that. But if you have a busted water pipe, or in our case, what happened was the water heater relief valve failed and it leaked everywhere and soaked the floor. And so insurance did help cover that. So I used homeowners insurance. But the only thing we've used auto insurance for is like fixing chips in the windshield. We've been fortunate. No accidents. So it's one of those, I'm paying for it to make sure I'm covered in case something happens, but I'm not getting anything back for it. And a lot of people say, well, why should I buy life insurance? I don't make my ex rich, or not my ex, I guess, but, spouse rich when I'm gone, or I'm worth more dead than I am alive, all those little cliches. Well, maybe you have the old kind of life insurance. There's a lot of things that life insurance can do besides just pay your family a lump sum if you pass. So, as I mentioned, chronic care, critical care. Some insurance companies will call it accelerated death benefits. Some call it living benefits. But those are just what we call riders that go on the plan. Some plans that are built into the plan. Some of them, part of it's built in, but you have this other rider. You pay a little bit extra to have that on there. One of the things most common people know of, like the accidental death benefit, that will, if you have a $100,000 life insurance policy, but you pay $2 a month or $5 a month to have the accidental death benefit, so that if you do die in an accident, then it will pay out double to your beneficiary. And so it's a very inexpensive add-on. So sometimes riders like that, and same thing with terminal care, chronic care. And most of them are designed that, maybe you do have a terminal care accelerated rider. They're not going to pay out 100%. And what that does is, and I always say, hey, if you find out you've got a terminal illness, but you're still fairly, healthy, you can still get around well, you can take that bucket list trip, that cruise around the world, or finally go to Australia because it's your last chance to go, and you got the money to spend to do that, you don't exhaust the policy. So some of them are set up, it'll be a fixed amount, $10,000, $25,000 of the death benefit will remain, even though you've cashed out the rest from the rider. Or some of them are percentage. 25% of whatever your death benefit will be in a death benefit, so that when you do pass, your family still has the money to take care of those final expenses, and maybe to help them stay in the home that you've been paying for years, until that spouse can figure out how they're going to pay for that house, or if they do need to sell the house to move into something else. But they don't have to sell in a hurry, because they have money to make those mortgage payments until they're able to purchase another house. So there's a lot of those little things that, there's a lot of reasons to have life insurance. The other one, I run into is really encourage people, get insurance, on your children or grandchildren. Grandparents are, we always say, people love their children. Grandparents really love their grandchildren. But again, generally, most children are healthy, and so it's easy. You simplify the issue, get a whole life insurance policy, very cheap, and when they turn 21, that policy becomes theirs, and it guarantees their insurability because you never know what will happen. With the company I was with before in Knoxville, one of the other agents, I think it was 14 at the time, her grandson developed type 2 diabetes. Well, once that happens, it's kind of hard, next to impossible, to get life insurance. So you never know when that child's going to get sick, when they might get cancer, when they might get... And you want to make sure they've got something that they can have when they're as an adult. And most of the policies have where you can increase, that guaranteed insurability, they can increase the death benefit of that policy when they're an adult. So like some of them, when they turn 18, they can double the policy or increase it by that original face amount. And then 3 years later, so they have a $10,000 plan. At 18, they can make it 20. And then at 21, they can make it 30,000. They add, the original face amount with no underwriting. They could be dying and increase their death benefit. So it really is important to get those plans early, and of course, the younger you are, the less expensive they are, and you do that insurability. The other thing is, I've experienced losing a child, and so I know what it's like. I didn't go back to work just because I had to, economically, but I was in the Army at the time, so there's only so much leave time you can take. But a lot of times you may not be ready to go back to work after losing a child. And if you have that life insurance policy, you can use that money to not worry about, hey, I've got to get back to work or I'm going to lose my house. Take that worry off the table. Have the life insurance. You're not out there looking to get rich because you lost your child, but you are wanting to be able to have time to grieve and be able to take care of expenses. And you're going to have, it doesn't matter if you die when you're old or a child that dies, you're going to have funeral expenses, and they aren't cheap. So it does come in handy to have that in place. Please give us a call. It's so inexpensive to have a really decent life insurance policy on your child or your grandchild. So sorry to be kind of the downer on the end, and nobody ever wants to talk about life insurance, but it does more than just pay out a death benefit. So if you have something you want to look into, let us know. Give us a call. Go to insurancematchmaking.com. Send us a message. Give us a call, 931-881-3969. We're on South Jefferson next to the Domino's where they're doing all the road construction. They just shifted the road across the other side with the paving. So it's looking promising, but it's still kind of a mess. Until next week, see you on the radio.
You've been listening to Insurance Matchmaking with Matt Libby, your path to health, life, and Medicare coverage with Matt Libby Insurance.